Hey there, beloved Ascension Pioneers. Welcome to another video of mine. I have been off for a while, taking a short retreat. I think so many of you have probably felt that the collective energies have been, implying some purging as well. And it's just how it was, sometimes we just got to take the break, walk away from everything, just being ourselves. Because even when I was reading this book, Earth Awakens from Salva Kelly, we were reading the book as we read it together. And there's so many explanations here given that, so many things. Basically, it would be like citing myself all over again and reading myself back to me, maybe in different words, because I'm not a native, American speaker, but it's just so familiar to me. And I was recently, taking a break, and I was reading here about the external cycles, more extroverted than more introverted internal cycles. And this is how we're fluctuating, through these cycles and rhythms that are, coming from periodical movements of our inner cycles, the conscious collective cycles. Then you have planetary cycles, even the grander cycles, such as universal and cosmic cycles. And today I really wanted to talk about light activations, basically like light body, our ascension activation. And this is something I wrote about in my article called, I think it was Ascension Activation, Light Body, and so on. And you can read this because I'm sharing for all those of you who have not yet been familiarized with the article down below. Check out the info section. And before I start talking about this again, because I'm so enthusiastic about this book, I would like to read something that I wrote in this book that was just so in line with everything that I've been saying recently, how ascension is basically a gradual but so natural process that really is unfolding through every cell, every molecule of our body. Also, the article that I wrote about community, the true nature of community, has something very similar in it as a altogether note. How everything is forming, from one cell to another, like from molecule to molecule, through every atom of our being. Our cells are being restructured, reformed, transfiguring into some other form of beingness. So this is what I like to read about from this book. It's from page 77, and it's called The Merkaba Vehicle of Light. I've oftentimes been speaking about this myself as well. If you have been reading any of my notes, you will be very familiar with this text. Let us now discuss one of the most misunderstood topics among the light workers, that of the Merkaba Vehicle of Light. The Merkaba is a geometric pattern of light energy that forms around ascending souls at various stages in the process of converting their form from a mortal carbon base to an immortal silicon-based body. The Merkaba is already partially formed around 4 density souls. Its primary purpose is to protect them from unfavorable environmental conditions during ascension. For all those of us on the ascension timeline, it can be likened to a chrysalis around the caterpillar that is becoming a butterfly. As the soul moves through the various stages of ascension, the Merkaba becomes more solid and easily recognizable to clairvoyants and those already vibrating at 5th density. Eventually, the Merkaba serves to enable ascended souls to travel through time and space without the need for a mechanical transport device, such as a spacecraft. However, the fully formed Merkaba does not manifest itself until the later stages of ascension. That is something really important, especially in the New Age circles, which really don't have the whole idea about this. It is not necessary to learn any particular techniques for building the Merkaba vehicle, because what you recognize in New Age and ascension communities, oftentimes on videos here on YouTube, is how you really do this through some sort of very mechanical, very instrumental, detached, but kind of way that is very, I don't even know the word for it, but very instrumental. And it's nothing like the true origin of our light body activation. So what it says here is that it is not necessarily to learn, I will rephrase this again, any particular techniques for building the Merkaba vehicle. So what it was here stated also is, in fact, it is rather useless. Check out this word useless, because I've been oftentimes telling people who ask me, how do I activate my Merkaba? And you cannot do that. And you cannot control your process, because it's like you activate packages of light within you. And this is all occurring naturally, and you're just becoming aware of it. So the only thing you need is increasing your awareness. And as awareness rises, your cells are transmuting themselves and you're becoming aware of the process that is happening in your body. Sometimes when you're in your human releasing modes, you won't really know what's happening. You will be releasing. You will have to stay remain, that neutral observer who just allows things, who allows everything to just transpire, to come and go as you observe them. And then again, you move into the stages of higher understanding and upgrading, your consciousness through downloads of light. In fact, is rather useless because the building of the Merkaba is an automatic process, you see, that occurs naturally during ascension. The only value we see in doing a Merkaba meditation or process is that it helps focus you on the ascension process. So that is the only thing, you see. And after all, what you focus on, you draw into experience. So being aware of the state of developing Merkaba is likely beneficial, even though it is not required. Just as focusing on the state of your heart is beneficial, even though you do not need to consciously keep it beating. So, our heart beats naturally. A healthy Merkaba is essentially one that is not interfered with through trying to hurry the ascension process or trying to escape the mortal human self because you have judged it as unworthy, bothersome, or hindering of your spiritual progress. I have one of these examples as such. I remember this young fella writing to me once, numerous amounts of times trying to seek answers from me. And the individual has stated several times that he's not enjoying his human life, his family, there's so much problems. And he kept asking me, when's ascension? Paluna, when's ascension happening? I need to really do that. Otherwise, I'm going to, I don't know, die or something bad's going to happen. But when's ascension? I need to activate this. And I was like, you cannot do this. You cannot until you still have those fears and escapism and new age, fluffy beliefs that you have not yet integrated. And the only thing that really is so important here is digging deep within and seeing and recognizing the original cause that is also mentioned in this book several times, which is basically the fall, because, we became enmeshed in this identification with the matter in this world, that we know it as such, because we know it the way that we associate with it, not exactly always as an objective state that it is, as this reality. So oftentimes this is not okay, and many people who, especially young ones, are very prone to this, who watch numerous YouTube videos and ascension activations, light vehicles, Merkaba activating, and you do one meditation and you're like, my Merkaba is activated. And it's just not how it goes. You always exist eternally in your state as you are. You're bringing it forth in this body. But in this awareness, this will only activate as you go through this process through awareness. And that's all you need. It's like the key is always awareness. And that's the keynote of all my videos. Always remain a neutral, aware, observant. And that's how you will keep anchoring greater and greater awareness. If you're trying to escape something, if you're trying to make something happen, well, you really won't make it happen, because it's not something that comes, that way to you. It's not something like that serves this purpose. So this is what it says about if we still judge this human ego or trying to escape this experience. So as long as you're still trying to escape it, you're not in the ascension timeline, because you still haven't figured out what it's truly about, and you're trying to escape it because you don't understand yet that everything is yet in divine order wherever you are, you see. The little human self is an integral part of your being, but it is prone to judgment, of course. By judging it says any aspect of self, you hinder your own spiritual progress. Becoming impatient with your growth is usually due to subconscious or unconscious judgments you have placed on yourself, including negative attitudes toward the ego personality. You might have a belief system that says if you don't meditate enough or pray enough or let go of your negative beliefs fast enough, you will not make the grade. And this is what so many are doing. That's where they're watching all these videos and doing all these activations, and their spirit is, trying to really catch the train, the ascension train, while their body is saying, please just stop, please just rest. Nurture me, nurture myself in this body, and respect that this ascension process is unfolding naturally as we go along. And really cherish every part of the experience. Don't, hurry into the next level if you still haven't done everything and integrated everything on this level, on this station. You have to see all the stations of the train, not just the goal. Because eventually, even if you reach your goal, if it's something the desired, in your desired destination, when you get there, you will see that you don't just stand there. You want to see other landscapes. You want to move ahead, and you want to move on. You always want to move on. So what it says here is, let us assure you that if you have read this far, you are definitely on the path of ascension. And all those of you who are really regularly attuned to my videos and prone to really want to watch them with all your eagerness, you are also on this path. But give yourself all the desired time. For instance, I felt this week was really an immense releasing week, I had this feelings that I could not understand why I feel so, like at the bottom of this valley, although my spirit was, as always, so uplifted. But again, as always, I was reading this book and the answer came because it was speaking about a collective releasing and how we knew when we went through this experience, especially us as guides, we are not separate from this experience. When you come to Earth, you will feel and experience as Earth does. The more you move into oneness, you don't escape this experience, the more you will feel it. But you will also be powerful enough to integrate it more into your beingness. And through higher understanding, it will be easier and easier and such, on your path. So we don't escape this, but we need to allow ourselves. So if I, as Polona, my body feels this way, I need to give myself rest. Sometimes the mind will say, oh, but you have to take care of the Ascension Pioneers, you have to update the page, you have to blah, blah, blah. And I go like, no, I owe no one anything. I owe it to myself. I'm responsible just for myself, my own feelings, even though they're collective, they're still purging through me. Whatever is coming through me, I need to allow it, I need to release it, I need to integrate it. And whatever is happening is a natural process, which I can either hinder or I can help speed it up through awareness and allowing myself to rest and allowing myself these periods of more internal shifts and they're more extroverted, sorts of behaviors. I need to allow that, and so do you. So you do not need to beat yourselves up if you have days in which it seems you have not made any progress. Well, that's how it seemed for the last week for me, and maybe even more. But today I just got this. We were doing a meditation today for, in our family circle with a candle inside. I just gathered up, I'm usually the guide, and I gathered up our team, and we said, let us really talk about what we want to do next on our journey, what we wish to bring about in our lives. And we also know this is happening naturally, but as we consciously talk about it, we're bringing it forth. We'll welcome in this new awareness into our experience. So we were really realizing that when we talk, we exchange this, new awareness comes. So what we need to do is we just have to allow how we feel in every state without judging it. That is the most crucial part. And if you want to hurry somewhere and you watch all the videos on Ascension and you want to do that light activations through Merkaba activations or whatever sorts of rainbow bridges, whatever you may do, if you don't do, if it doesn't become, if it doesn't come accompanied with awareness, it doesn't serve anything anyway. Well, it serves. Maybe a certain part of you will remember something. And what I wrote in the article shared below, you can check it out, is that no one from the external, for instance, you might have this New Age teacher who says, I will activate you into becoming a Reiki master. And you think to yourself, who can really activate me? Is it really some other person who will give me, who will give me that initiation? It's not happening that. The initiations come through your God self, through your inner I am presence. And every initiation comes when you reach, new states of awareness and you keep going deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, or, the hole at the same time is also the light. It's always both. So the deeper you go into the hole, there's not just, this idea that there will be more darkness the deeper you will go. Because at the end, if you think of the earth as a hollow earth, if you think of that analogy, and you think of things like, you go within, then there's always the light. You have the toroidal field, which we all are built from. That's how we're made, structured. So here it also says, do not judge yourself, dear creators. Most of you have made far more progress than you realize, and we forget to do this sometimes. Even if you're facing some seemingly unsurmountable blocks in the emotional body, or, whatever you might feel when you have those ups and downs, it's natural. And he speaks about it as well, that it will be, in the transition period, it will be an ongoing thing. Always within fluctuations, like I always like to say, like layers of the onion, which we're peeling. And sometimes it feels, oh, the deeper I go, the harder it is. But it isn't, because at the same time, your awareness has increased. So it isn't harder. Might seem more challenging, but the awareness that you possess already on that level is reciprocal to that amount of challenge. And you never pick something that you cannot do. So even if that is happening, or it appears that you appear to have chronic health problems, you have a lot of help. That is one aspect very important as well. Help. Continue to ask your guides and God presence for assistance. Open to receive it. Do not be so quick to judge the form that help comes in. Sometimes it might be even human beings. Sometimes you might watch this video and you might see something, you might see that something comes in that you really need at that now moment. Sometimes the most so-called negative experiences also are actually the most beneficial to your soul growth and well-being. So a lot of people, what they tend to do still is they feel good, you know, on one level of their experience. You know, for instance, if I would go into that mode, then I would say, let's take the example that now is winter. And I say, oh, but in the summer I felt so much better because I was so alive and it was summer and everything just felt so amazing. And I love being outdoors, and now the weather is so weird. It's shifting from one state to another and I'm not outside so much and I don't feel good, but I was already there feeling good. Now I don't. What do I do? You know, and I place this awareness around myself that this is negative and that I once was there and now I'm not. So you see what I'm doing? I'm causing more belief of separation and duality because I'm not allowing this cycle to be experienced just as it is. And you know, we shouldn't judge and we shouldn't analyze what's coming through us, because if you just keep stirring the shit whole, you know, not whole, but pot, you know, you have that pot. Sorry, sometimes I mistake the words. And if you just stir it up, what happens? It just end up stinking more. It's not what we came here to do. We just came here to release whatever is being released without any judgments, shame, guilt, blame, anything of such. This is not our true nature. So what's happening is our untrue nature is being purified while our true nature just holds the ground of awareness, keeps it locked, you know, very tight and steady so that we may just keep striving forward, keep marching forward. So what I've been saying myself is other external people and, you know, certain certificates, they do not initiate you. Even if they give you this feeling, it's a false external feeling that you have achieved something. In fact, everything that you have, you think you have, it's already a part of your soul attributes. It just, they come mirrored outwards, you know, externally from your internal nature. So you don't need anyone to give you this validation or to give you like initiation. Or, you know, I've heard some people saying, well, I've received this light activation from this and this master or guru or this and this person. And I would never do that myself. You know, what I do through my own, for example, light activations is I just provide holding the space and working with the energies, the highest energies of our God self, of our, you know, we all in a way belong to the realms of illuminated truth. Well, all truth is one. It's how I see it. It's how I feel it in my own awareness and understanding is we just have to bring that forth. And these light activations that I do just help to hold that energy space so that whatever we are not and whatever is being purged right now can move through us as easily, as comfortable, that, you know, that is good for us. Not that it makes this experience hard and challenging and heavy. Sometimes we all might feel this heaviness, but it's not really what this is about. So this is what I wanted to talk about today. I really wanted to add another aspect, but I won't, because I decided to make this a separate video because it's such an interesting topic that I would not like to make it in this one huge long video. And it will be something that I promised last week. It was about portals, stargates, and something beyond reality, understanding this reality as I was already describing it in the nature of the infinity symbol. I think not so many people as other videos have seen that, because sometimes, you know, I see people go like, ah, that is so, no. And mostly people still like to watch things about ascension and symptoms and things like that. Although very important things that are now coming to surface need to be really understood through creation principles. And one of these principles is in the infinity symbol and its meaning. And I've explained already there what this nature is about. And with this awareness, for all those of you who have seen that video, we will be moving on. Probably tomorrow with the topic of stargates, of portals, of the nature of the universe that comes through black holes, or how they call them, and why scientists can't yet understand them. And Sal also explains this beautifully, which is something I always felt myself. And we just sometimes need to keep thinking out of the box. This is what we're doing. So we'll be doing this video this week. Why I didn't do it before is, like I told you, I had to have this personal mini retreat. And I am sending all of you so much love. And remember, you are your own initiates. Only you decide and activate your inner ascension process. It happens as automatically as you can think of. It's not something difficult. It's not a method you can learn that you think you need to learn. That is the mind telling you so. In fact, every truth is very simple. So let's all keep walking in the simplicity of truth and love and enlightenment, which is basically what we are, enlightened human race all together, sharing as one. And I'll talk to you soon. Much love. Bye.